I'm Mocha Nicole.
Miss Mo Quick.
What it is, man? It's your dog, DJ Black, Mr. Fix Your Face.
Hey, everybody. Portia Fox from the Portia Fox Morning Show.
Yo, what up, though? This DJ E Smooth.
And one on the DJ Holiday, Mixtape King, Ciroc Boy, Commission Guy.
And we always listen to the reup recap.
You're watching reup Recap
If you watching the reup recap,
Right now, you with the reup recap with my dog, Julio.
with my boy Julio.
with my boy Julio.
With Julio.
You are at the reupspot.com. And of course, we're about to get into that reup recap with Julio.
The Reup Recap, man, is the only place you need to go for that brand new hip hop, man. Reup, the reupspot.com. You got to check it out, man. One on the DJ Holiday, Mixtape King, Ciroc Boy, Commission Guy. And I'm telling you, man, where to go. You got to check it out. Don't play yourself.
What's going on, y'all? This your man Julio here for the Reup Recap right on reupspot.com, where hip hop culture is served daily and it's definitely dope. Well, as you guys know, Kanye had pretty much taken over social media and hip hop news for the week, so it's pretty much been quiet. But apparently, Hov and M are in the process of suing the Weinstein Company. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Weinstein Company, it's the guy who was accused by all the women that basically jump-started the Me Too movement. His company, the one I believe he was removed from the board and things like that. I don't know if he still has ownership stake in it or not, but he was removed off the board from the company. Apparently, they owe J and M over $800,000 for stuff they had did for the company. So they're seeking their money. So that's the biggest thing in hip hop outside of Kanye right now. There's nothing that was really big this week in hip hop that necessarily, move the meter. Kanye pretty much did everything. And I mean, could you really blame him when you're making stupid ass comments about slavery being a choice? I don't want to keep beating that dead horse. It was a horrible comment. The surprising part about that whole Kanye saga was Adidas said that they still want to work with him, and basically they're not going to comment on every comment that he makes. But at what point do you hold that company accountable? Because had he not made them any money, it's like a player who's not producing in college. Those scholarships are only 1 year. If you're not producing, they're going to cut you and find another high school player to take your spot or transfer, or whatever the case is. So if Kanye had not been making them a lot of money, then they'd be cutting him loose. But the fact that Yeezys are selling the way they're selling, they're going to continue to do it until he does something or says something so bad. And if people went out and the Yeezys instantly stopped selling, you stop buying his clothes, then that would actually move the meters. What happens is when you affect people's bottom line, that's when the meters get moved. That's the thing with the NFL. I don't agree with it. I believe those players have the right to do what they're doing, but the fact that these owners feel like it's affecting their bottom line, they have an issue with it, even though it's not against any rule. But the fact that they own this company and they feel like it's affecting their bottom line, they're going to go ahead and implement changes. Where I remember one week, a certain team didn't even come out. I want to say it was the Steelers. They didn't even come out, but one player who used to be a former military person did come out, and he stood for the flag. But getting back to Kanye, if you affect them sales, that's how you affect change. When you affect life and money, those are the two things that would change a company or a person's perspective. When you affect their money and when you affect their lives or the lives of the people around them. So when you can start affecting those two things, that's when things change. So until you can affect the sales with Adidas, all you got to do is stop buying their products and then let them know you're not buying it based on this. I don't wear Yeezys. It's not my cup of tea. I don't really care that much to spend $300-400 on a pair of shoes. It's just not things. I got other things to worry about. I don't even really buy Jordans like that. So if Jordan did something crazy or said something crazy, I couldn't affect his brand either because I'm not purchasing his stuff. But the ones who are purchasing it do have that effect on the marketplace. So if we start putting our dollars in the right place, we can start affecting change. We are, as black people, we are some of the biggest consumers there are. The fact that we don't have the same income as white people, well, I'm saying we don't make that amount of money, we still affect the marketplace with buying stuff so much that if we stopped buying certain stuff and put our money in certain places, we could make a whole lot of changes, but we have to come together to do that. But I digress from that. Moving forward, it looks like Tia, the twin from Tia and Tamara, her and her husband Corey just had a baby girl. Congratulations to them. Shout out to them. They seem to be a lovely couple. I actually met Tia one time in passing while she was shooting the game. Stopped to the picture. She was really nice. But congratulations to them. For all you Marvel people, sci-fi people, Avengers has passed the $1 billion mark. It did it faster than any movie in history, which means it did it faster than Black Panther. Now, I'm not mad at it. I'm glad Black Panther had the success it had, but if you really paid attention, Black Panther was a part of the Avengers. So you can't like Daniel saying, can't outdo Mr. Miyagi. It's not going to happen. So for that to even if you thought that wasn't gonna happen, you're not paying attention. I heard some people say, well, I'm not going to go see the movie in the first week because I don't want to do good as this. Why would you do that? I'm gonna go see. I actually did go see it when it first came out because I'm not a comic book head, but I love the Marvel movies. So I made it a point to go see it. Now, I did not like the way it ended, but for all the comic book people out there who I know, I always say, well, there's a part 2, so that's the way it ended the way it's supposed to end, and then other things happen in part 2 that make it make sense, and I guess it will have a better ending. But for me to just like to go see a good movie, I didn't like the way it ended. But nonetheless, it actually surpassed Black Panther and every other movie for that matter, hitting the $1 billion mark faster, which still goes good for Black Panther because he's one of the main characters in this particular movie. I mean, he's one of the Avengers. They shot part of the movie in Wakanda, which if you have not paid attention, Wakanda's not really a real country. So I think some of y'all are under the impression that it's a real country. And I would like to say, if you would like to go to Wakanda, what you should do, right? I think you should book an all-inclusive and not only go to Wakanda, but you should take a trip to Zamunda. Because Prince Akeem has this beautiful palace that you can walk through and look at stuff. All the artifacts of Zamunda, which would make you should go there first and then go over to Wakanda. These places don't really exist, people. But it's funny to see people really think this stuff really exists. Like they thought vibranium was really a real metal. Like that shit is not real. I'm just saying. But nonetheless, I liked Avengers up to the part of the ending. It was a great movie. And I think it deserved to pass the $1 billion mark. I don't know about faster than anything in the world. I don't wish it any less because it wasn't Black Panther or it wasn't a black film. Stop looking at that. Like, I'm glad Black Panther happened. We need other black films to pop off just like that, but we need them to be done just as good with this. Now, you don't have to spend $300 million on the film, but it still needs to be a good film nonetheless. Speaking of films, your boy Kevin Hart was in a film that he was not happy about. I'm actually glad it played out this way. Y'all all remember when Kevin Hart got caught out there where he cheated on his wife, and there was supposedly a tape that was out there showing it, like a sex tape. Well, come to find out, his boy actually had possession of said sex tape and was supposed to be the one, supposedly, I mean, that's the way it's being reported or talked about, that he's the one that set that whole thing up, and he was trying to sell it to different publications, and Kevin found out about it. Now, the crazy part was he was one of Kevin Hart's boys, like really put him on to certain stuff. Like I looked at him, when you see his face, you'll be like, oh, I know that dude. And when I seen him, I was like, oh, damn, I really know him. I'm thinking it's one of the Plastic Cup boys that tour with him, because those are the ones that you normally hear about. But nah, it wasn't one of them. I don't believe he is anyways. It's another guy, and when you see him, you'll be like, oh, that's the guy who did it. His name is Jonathan Todd Jackson. He's up for, he could actually be facing 4 years. Basically, he tried to blackmail Kevin Hart, and Kevin Hart fessed up to it. He said, instead of giving you money, I'd rather go ahead and fess up and deal with it that way. Because basically what he's looking at, if he loses his wife based on just that incident or whatever incidents that included, he would have to give her money anyways. It'd still be a money. I'm not saying that's the biggest thing concerning him because it'd be breaking up his family, but nonetheless, he would still have to pay her money based on trying to pay you money to keep a secret. So he'd rather just tell her and try to reconcile and fix that situation, and instead of giving you money for stuff you didn't even earn. What kills me about that situation is, and people in those type of situations, they feel like they deserve more than they would get. One or two things could have happened, and I mean it could have been a third and I'm not thinking of it, but the two ways I'm thinking of it is, one, the guy really was doing stuff for Kevin and felt like he wasn't being compensated. I'm not saying that's what happened, I'm giving a scenario, and he felt like, hey, if I'm not going to be compensated, I'm tired of this, I'm going to figure out a way to get money. Or two, he really just felt entitled and he felt like he should get more than what he was getting, whether it was Kevin doing more with putting him in, getting him more roles in movies, putting him in more of his movies, or actually just handing him more bread. One of those two. That jealousy thing is real, and you can see like your boy, somebody you could really be putting money, doing stuff to put money in their pockets, they'll turn on you. That's crazy. Like my thing is, if you looking out for me, it's my job to take the way in which you look out for me and expand upon it, not just keep coming with my hands out. That's crazy. Like if Kevin Hart was like, that was to become my friend for some odd reason, I couldn't figure it out. I mean, I think I'm dope, but I don't know if I'm dope enough to be his friend, and a reason I don't even know why we would meet. But anyways, if I was to have a friend that was put in that type of situation, is making all this movies and all this money, and they gave me opportunities, it's my job to take those opportunities and expand upon it. Like they showed me a way, they opened the door, now it's my turn to kick that door off the hinge and make moves that allow me to open doors for other people. Don't just keep going back to them with your hand out. Nah, bruh, quit coming with your hand open. Like I need you to do a return. Like I gave you $20,000 and put you in this movie. Like what did you do with that? Did you go make relationships with producers and directors and use those red carpet opportunities to network? Like come on, bro, you got to be bigger and better than that. Like outthink your competition. That's really what it is. Like get out there and make moves yourself. It's cool to look for help and get help sometimes, but once help is given to you, stop always depending on help. Go find a way in which to make it yourself. Like stop doing that. That's crazy. I'm glad you're up for charges. I hope you get something, and I hope you learn from this, and I hope he turns his back on you, because that's crazy. You about to mess up this man's marriage and his livelihood, babe. Like he could have really been dropped from a lot of sponsors. I don't know which ones dropped him and which ones kept him, but nonetheless, you could have messed up a whole lot more stuff than whatever that little bit of insignificant money you was asking for. Not to mention you messed up a friendship and a connection in a business. That's stupid on your part. Like you just messed up a whole lot of stuff for a little bit of gain. You really did not think that one through at all. I don't feel sorry for you in the least bit. I hope you get raped in jail every day you're in there. Like that is stupid. Like I don't normally wish harm to anybody, I really don't, but the fact that you would do that to a friend that looked out for you, that is absolutely crazy to me, and that's irresponsible. Digressing, moving to something more positive and wrapping this video up for the week. The NBA playoffs are in full effect, and what can I say but good Lord, it looks like it's gonna be a quick conference championship. Out in the West, we'll start in the West and end in my favorite place, the East, because that's where my Cavs, not even my Cavs, I'm sorry, let me stop that. I'm not a Cavs fan. People think I'm not a Cavs fan. I'm a LeBron James fan. There's a big difference, and I can explain it to you if I ever meet you. What's going on in the West? The Pelicans are up 3-1, and so are the Houston Rockets. Both have took the series lead in their series tonight, 3-1 and commanding 3-1. It'll probably be over 3-1 4 games, so it'll be over in 5 games. It's going back to Houston. It's going back to Golden State. All they got to do is play the game the way they've been playing it, and they should walk away and end the series rather quickly. Moving into the East, not only is Philadelphia not going to win this series, Boston is about to sweep them, and it's looking pitiful. For everybody that thought Ben Simmons should be Rookie of the Year, he probably did deserve it because it's a regular season award. But if it had anything to do with the playoffs, you would have to give it to Donovan Mitchell because there's an APB out for Ben Simmons. Like he's not showing up. You're scoring 2 points. Like you're handling the ball. You're the primary ball handler on your team, and you don't take 10 shots in a game or some crazy stat like that. Like so, he still has to learn how to win. It's over for Philly. They can win one. I doubt they will based on how this is going. I mean, the last game was close. It went in OT, but the Celtics ended up pulling it out. And I don't see it. I think they don't have enough in them yet to push it to a game, push them any further than that. I think this is pretty much done for them. They feel like they can't come back because no teams come back from a 3-0 deficit ever. So I don't see them doing it. Now moving on to the series that I really want to talk about, and that's the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Toronto Raptors. And it's the Toronto Raptors. He now owns them. He's in their head. They can't shake him. I swear to God, if y'all see, just watch the last 30 seconds of the game, and I mean last 30, from the 8 seconds when LeBron brought it in, hit the winning shot, to about the 12 seconds after that. Kyle Lowry looks like he was in fucking disbelief that LeBron James came down and hit this hell of a shot off the glass. Like, he just looks fucking amazing. It's hilarious to me. If you want to see it, you can go to my IG. It's on there. I posted a video about it when it happened. It is hilarious. His face just says, like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I can't believe that shit happened. LeBron came down with 8 seconds. They messed up when they did not double team him. That's first and foremost. You didn't put no pressure on him to double team him. You let a young guy who is not equipped to guard him, obviously, because the man's going off for 35 plus a game every game, and you put this guy who couldn't guard him the other 47 and change minutes of the game. He couldn't guard him then, so you think he's going to stop him the last 8 seconds of the game? No. They put him on one-on-one, takes him down the court, takes him to the left, and shoots it off the glass and wins. I'm talking about, like, it was set up perfect to make him have a highlight reel, and that's crazy. They didn't care. Now your boy Drake, like, has been silenced. He can't say anything beyond the fact that the commissioner has gotten on him about using, I guess, foul language when he's throwing jabs back and forth with the Cleveland players. Like, at this point, what do you say? There's nothing to say. Like, he's the king, he's on the throne. Like, just get ready for Boston. I'm sorry, that shit's over in 5. Y'all don't have Kyrie, you're gonna need him. Like, those young boys are playing good. Those young boys aren't ready for that. If Kevin Love and the rest of the band show up, it's a wrap. Kevin Love came alive. The rest of the crew starting to come alive. They're finding how to do it, and Lou's starting to get his rotation better. He's starting to play Tristan more and Larry Nance less, which actually seems to be working a whole lot better, along with other guys coming in and doing their job and doing it very well, I might add. Like, what Kyle Korver and J.R. Smith are doing right now, we all know J.R. Smith is a very streaky player. When he's on, like, that's a whole nother superstar you got to deal with. But when he's off, he's still shooting, because that's what you should do as a shooter. But it'll be a terrible night, and somebody else really got to step up. But the fact that right now they're on and they're hitting and they're doing everything they need to do, I'm talking about, they just look like a completely young team. They were jumping, passing lanes, and stealing the ball. It's like they were doing everything they needed to do to win. So right now, the way I see it playing out, Golden State and Houston, that could go either way. They're going to beat each other up a little bit and face rested Cavaliers team in the finals. I think that's the way it's going to play out. I don't see Celtics putting up more than a 5-game fight, because them young boys, once LeBron starts putting them on, they're not going to know how to handle it, because they haven't been put up against that type of adversity all season long. So when you get put up against that type of adversity and you think you should win it based on you've been doing it this far and you had a better record than Cleveland, so you feel like you should do it, you're not going to know how to handle that. And that's the problem with Philly. They don't know how to handle adversity. They think they should just walk through the playoffs based on the fact that they're Philly. That's not the way it works. So the way I'm calling it out right now before it even happens is Celtics, Cavs beat Celtics in 5. Golden State and Houston. It could go either way. That's going to be 6 to 7 game series. That's going to stretch. It's not going to be a sweep like the East is about to do tomorrow. Both teams out of the East, I feel like, will probably sweep tomorrow. I definitely believe Cleveland's going to do it. And the Celtics, if they have anything in them, I believe they'll do it as well, because Brad Stevens seems to be a hellified coach. So the way I see it is Cleveland gets them in 5, and Warriors Rockets, like I said, they'll probably go 7. So come back every week right here to the Reup Recap with your boy Julio on reupspot.com, where hip hop culture served daily is definitely dope. Our segments are powered by King. Make sure y'all check them out. They got all the snapbacks you want, clothing. Just check them out. It's a dope company, and they power this segment. Anybody else that want to get at me for some opportunities, check out my social media. It's always in the bio. It's in my IG, and it's also in the bio for this video. So make sure y'all come back every week right here to Reup Recap with your boy Julio on reupspot.com, where hip hop culture served daily, and it's definitely dope. Peace.